All right, guys, we're gonna take another look at Alice Never After. This is issue number 4. There's only one issue after this, I believe, and then it's done. This is the second volume of the follow-up of the first volume, Alice Ever After. And without further ado, let's dive in. Now, this is a little bit of a weird comic, if you can say. You have to. This, not everybody likes it, but there's a lot of people that do like it, and it's one of the reasons that I'm doing this. So, looking, having comics that is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse to say if it's good, if it's fun. And it has the same tone as the first volume that I probably said before in my previous videos. And so in this particular volume or series or issue, it seems that Alice here, who's gone crazy, by the way, is pregnant. And all of these animals that basically care for her, they also are fickle and weird. And, well, everybody's crazy in this world, in this wonderland. So the Cheshire Cat comes in and he says, we need to bring her outside. You there with the furry fox, get her legs and White Rabbit her arms. I love to help, but I'm running a wee bit late. Could Toad give you a hand instead? Sure, I'm not certain I can lift her arms, but I'm a servant to the crown. So always the White Rabbit needs to go somewhere, but why and where? Anyway, so people complain a lot because he's heavy, right? So she's outside, and she really hates the Cheshire Cat. He said, the problem is you. Why are you still here? She is delirious. It's plain as the nose on my face. We need to operate. And everybody says, yeah, let's do that. Standard protocol, right? Like I said, these animals are weird. They're very compliant. If somebody says something, he says, yeah, let's do it, right? Or the other way around. And then it seems that Alice is getting madder and madder in every issue. And she's now also getting a little bit bigger because she's pregnant, right? And she's now floating in the air somehow. She says, no need to fly away. We can postpone the operation. Please come back down here. You're not well, dear. But then, meanwhile, in the real world, her father, who's basically the Cheshire Cat is basically the, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word for it, but I forgot. Let's move on. Then Edith comes in, right? And he talks, this is the father, right? It's daughter, right? Also, just Alice is also daughter, and I believe is not really his wife, more maybe. I'm sorry, I forgot. This is also daughter. That's it. And this guy's married to Edith, I guess, or they have a relationship. And so Edith proposes that she would take the girl or the baby or son. And he says, well, happy with what, Edith? Add 2 inheritance by adopting Alice's child? No, yes, but that's not our agenda. How dare you, Lorena? The child needs a proper family. We love to provide one. But then the father says, no need to worry. I have to arrange different. Well, I made different arrangement. Don't worry. It's all going to work out, right? But this guy's not to be trusted. And meanwhile, back in Wonderland, or in the head of basically Alice, who is totally oblivious here because he has brain damage, and they want to shoot it down with a spear and a rope, right? And so everybody's now going to look for a spear and a rope, right? But then this dodo comes in and he says, perhaps I could help, right? He says, well, what are you going to do, right? You're a bird, if I'm not mistaken, says this fox guy. He says, please, I think I can get her down. Give me one tiny chance. Sure, waste our time if you must. And then he's flapping his arms and flying a little bit. She says, thank you for trying to help. I thought dodo birds couldn't fly. And by that realization, sorry, no one ever told me I couldn't fly. And she says, well, this is Wonderland. I've seen stranger things. But then the dodo says, that's kind of the whole point of this place. You are the Queen of Hearts. You floated up there. You can probably float back down. And she's actually doing that, right? So going back to the real world, Edith tried to reach her sister, right? She says, Alice, I know you're still in your head somewhere. I wanted to know you are with child. You will be a mother very soon. It's important that you find a way, come back to us. But then I'm not sure if she actually reaching her, but we see Alice and a lot of rabbits, right? Going back to Wonderland. Well, but look, if you tell me I could see you floating away again at any time, it's quite large. Where's the Cheshire Cat when we need him? He knows what to do. He's the last creature I need right now. I believe he ran off to find a spear. Of course he did. We don't need a spear or a magic mushroom. I feel much better now. Okay, that's all. If that is also, like I said, they're also fickle, right? And he says, let's get the queen married. And she says, yeah, where's the white rabbit? Because he wants to marry the white rabbit. Why and how? I don't know. Because probably there's no men in this hole except for the guards. But they also look like weird creatures, right? She said, yeah, he left a while ago. He said he was late for something. Late for something, eh? He's always late for something, isn't he? Well, what could be more important than marrying me? You should ask him. An excellent idea. And she just runs off. I love that the writer is going with the weirdness and the madness in Wonderland, right? It all sounds so silly, but makes perfectly sense because, this is all in the head of Alice. She's brain damaged. So she's acting weird. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Edith tries to, have a talk with the doctor that did the brain damage, in the volume 1. And he says, I know Alice is still in there somewhere, but how do I reach her and explain how she can return to her old self? But then he says, well, I heard something about your father pulling out your deceased mother's teeth to save himself a trip to the cemetery, digging up corpses for their pearly whites. I suppose the royal families can afford better than the average wooden teeth. But what a sight for a young girl. No wonder your father medicated her and then signed his consent for my procedure. Who would want that sort of a nasty talk circulating? Basically blackmailing, I believe, Edith, I guess, right? And speaking of Hulda, so Hulda is the woman that instigated it all in volume 1. She was in prison, but now she is probably getting out. And she says that can be true. Terrible rumors, I'm sure. Now then, back to business, as it were. Let's discuss things, Alice. So basically, he says she needs to find inspiration to come back to her sense. Tea? No, thank you. Suit yourself and goodbye, Edith. You've been lovely to talk to. You are a rare lady. Very rare, I dare say, without imperfection. I like this sophisticated way of speaking. Meanwhile, Alice is running into the woods again, just like last time, but then this guards, I'm not sure who these guys are called. And he says, I'm running after you because the last time you went missing, we were all quite worried, right? Completely unnecessary. I appreciate the concert. So they're still looking for the rabbit. And so he says, I support your quest, my lady. You know I would not have hesitated to shoot an arrow at you to aid in your rescue. I know, thank you. So and he says, White Rabbit, where are you? But then, oh no, we have the Mad Hatter. And he insists that she is staying for tea. But she says, another time perhaps. We're trying to find a White Rabbit. The White Rabbit then he's invited too. Why not sit down and wait for him to arrive? And she says, no, you don't understand. We're trying to find him. I hate to be rude, but we really must take haste. Alice, you forgot. I did insist. And I politely declined your generous offer. Maybe I can help. I believe the White Rabbit went that way. I hardly doubt that. No one could survive a fall like that. How tragic. Perhaps we should sit down and drink a cup of tea in his honor and toast his memory. Now realize that he's now turning into something that looks a little bit different than, this guy, right? So he looks really like the doctor that operated on her. A real tragedy here is that you won't leave me alone. I bet the White Rabbit put you up to this so I wouldn't be able to find him. I take great offense to that. I would never do such a thing, never. Maybe we should sit down and discuss this. And she says, enough. I know what you're up to, and it's not appreciated. If I'm the Queen of Hearts and the Queen needs the King, I'm going to pick the King I want to pick. I'm tired of everyone making decisions for me. You may have put me in Wonderland, Dr. Madsen, or Mad Hatter, whoever you really are. but I'm in charge, you're not. Sometimes lost things are better off staying lost, my dear. And she's storming off, you know? And then we see, I don't know, the Cheshire Cat, right? And, here's some crinkle, crinkle, whatever that means. Probably some rustling here and there. And she says, run, we need to get out of here, because she doesn't know who is, watching them, right? So, but then they found the White Rabbit. And he says, Alice, I hear something ahead behind those trees. You do? It's better not be the Mad Hatter again. Did he somehow get us ahead of us? Hello, Alice. Hello, Alice. I can't explain. He has a milk bottle in his hand. Home sweet home? Was wondering. I wonder what's going on here. I probably have a good idea. Pregnant. Milk bottles. Hint, hint. It's not that really complicated. I'm guessing. I haven't read the last issue, but that's what I'm thinking. And that leads us to the next issue. Yeah. Fun stuff, I think. I'm still enjoying this. It's not spectacular or something, but it has some fun writing, some innocent, wacky, mad writing, if you will. So, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this series. Do you like it? And, see you next time. Bye-bye.